Well, Spot here is usually cool, calm and collected, even though he's naughty too, and he likes to be just as naughty as Stripe, but he's a bit more mellow and he's the one that probably gets beaten up by his brother more so. Stripe's usually the one to do the naughtier things first, but Spot took an opportunity while Stripe was sleeping to beat him in something. Will you stop biting me?
The cubs are now using anything and anyone to try out their new teeth. So Giles has a plan.
So this morning, we're going to see if they want to use those carnassial teeth that they've just got.
Carnassial teeth are specialist molars that allow carnivores to slice meat efficiently.
The fact that they've got those big chewing teeth at the back, the ones that slice the meat, is a good indication to me that they're probably at the point where they can start to chew their own food. So if these guys were in the wild, Mum would definitely be taking them to where she's made a kill and probably giving it a go themselves. It's a really, really big step, because if they take well to this morning, then, you know, we can move on to other stuff.
This new phase often triggers the development of another specific tiger behavior.
They might get a little bit possessive if they really get into it, if they really like it. You might see a little bit of swiping and snarling.
And being more food-focused than his brother,
Boys,
Giles wants firstborn Spot to give it a go.
you're just the one I wanted. What's this? What is it? Are you ready? Yeah? Oh, what? Oh, yeah? No, excuse me, it's my hand. No, he got possessive straight away. But he's using his teeth. He's got the idea. To the side. There you go. If I just let it go, he'd keep swallowing it. So the fact that I pull it to the side makes him use his carnassial teeth, which are the ones that are designed for chewing off chunks of flesh. Very me. I'd leave him alone for a second. Turned into a tiger. No. Good boy. It's all gone. All gone.
And it's not long till Stripe has his turn.
So this is Stripe, and Stripe normally isn't as driven for his food as what Spot is anyway, but he's doing a good job. If it was the other way round, with Spot eating the piece of meat, he wouldn't tolerate Stripe jumping all over him like this. He'd be all possessive. So Spot's more driven for the food, but Stripe's giving it a go. Just easy. Being possessive is completely natural. If they've made a kill in the wild, then they're going to do all they can to keep it. They've spent a lot of energy making that kill, and if they don't eat, then they don't survive. So it's worth investing the energy in being right on the inside thigh. It's worth the energy investing in trying to protect it. Spot is the more affectionate one. Stripe is the naughtier one. But when it comes to food, as you can see, this little guy's definitely much more driven. Therefore, it makes him a little bit more possessive.
With the cubs getting stronger and feistier, their days being able to live with Giles and his family are numbered. With an empty stomach, Giles tries Spot on some soft food.
So good. They're eating okay. I'm not going to give them the full amount. It'd be good to get some bottle into them as well. It's getting a little bit overzealous, a bit too pushy.
Sure enough, Spot soon gets his strength back. And it's not long before he perks up and begins to take on the family dogs, Caesar and Ruby.
Oh, Caesar's happy because his tail's wagging. He did his whole trying to get him to play thing. Oh, here he goes. He'll do it again now.
I know.
Good boy, Caesar. Good boy.
Once things are all tidied up, Giles takes time to reflect on the impact the cubs are having on conservation.
We're doing exactly what I set out to achieve, in that we are raising significant funds that we're going to put towards what I feel is, you know, the most successful and appropriate tiger conservation program for Sumatran tigers. These cubs are raising more money per day than it costs to run that program every day. So every day that these guys are on display, we are saving the Sumatran tiger in Kerinci Black National Park.
With the help of Kerry and son Kynan, he's got a new plan to help raise money to save the wild Sumatran tigers. Tiger cub paw prints.
Glad I don't have to deal with you when you're bigger. You're already bad enough.
Are you ready, Kynan? To help. So these are going to be the little canvases that we get their little paws on. I'm thinking $50 for a paw. Every single last cent will go back into conservation.
Yeah, your paw's getting big.
Second-born Stripe is as vocal as ever.
Right, you ready, buddy? Come on.
But as usual, Spot takes it all in his stride.
We've got him going now. Is he asleep?
Yes. Done.
Bobby, she's poor. All right.
Better than poo.
Yeah, because it's not smelling.
At least the water's nice and warm today.
Okay, all yours. Okay. Okay.
Have a shake. Oh, that wasn't a very good one. What are you doing?
If all 40 paw prints are sold, that'll be another $2,000 towards protecting tigers in the wild.
Tiger. I'm sorry. Quick, listen. Put it.
What's happening? What's happening? How?
Okay, we got the cub right up here.
We got the cub.
It's a tiger. Okay. See the tiger? Okay, it's right underneath the snow, right here. See? Siberian tiger cub.
Он прямо возле меня, 2 метра. Подожди, Степаныч.
He's coming out. He's coming out.
Out here, sticks are the only way to capture the cub without hurting it.
We've got the last cub. It's so good to see him alive. They're just immobilising him now. I can't believe he's seen it through the storm. And I'm this close to a growling cub. He's moving a bit, he's moving.
The cub is given a calming sedative.
Just waiting for the drug to take effect, okay? It can take up to 10 minutes, and when there's this many people around, it's more stress, it's harder for the drug to take effect. He's fighting it.
I just can't quite believe we've got him. You know, every one of these cubs is so important. There's only 400 in the wild, and we really thought he'd died, this one. I mean, I don't know how he's lasted for about 10 days on his own, without a mother, without his brother and his sister, and now hopefully he can join them at the rehab centre and one day come back into the wild.
This is great, this is what we wanted. Get this guy. So he's got a second chance now, which is all we can do, just give him a second chance.
sedative stops the cub from blinking. A gel protects its eyes from drying out. They've got to get this weak cub somewhere warm as quickly as possible. Max has been following the cubs from the beginning.
We've got these special remote cameras and we're rigging up the enclosure for the cubs. From now on, they can't have any human interaction at all if they're going to be released as wild tigers. So we've got to set up these cameras, drop way back, and then hopefully we'll get a glimpse of them coming out for the first time.
The team need to see how the cubs are recovering from their ordeal. The last time Max saw them, one of the cubs was in critical condition. The cameras will allow scientists to observe the cubs from a cabin 100 meters away. As night falls, the cubs still haven't emerged from the hut. Max settles in to keep watch.
I haven't really seen any activity yet. I think we all thought the cubs would be coming out, all three of them together. It's nearly midnight now and we've got the infrared lights up, but we haven't seen a single sign of any cubs. It might take a few days, or at least a couple of nights before they even come out.
But to his surprise, there's movement in the enclosure.
Look at him. Amazing.
It's the third cub, the one who almost died.
Bloody hell, they've grown. He's looking so healthy. Wow. Look at that. They've been inside that hut for so long. It's a real safe haven for them, so it's a massive leap for them. But it's just the start of the journey, a long, long journey of becoming a tiger again. I mean, I really just want to come back and see them in the day.
By the next morning, all three cubs are out. Over the next 12 months, this space will be enlarged and live prey will be released so that the cubs can learn to hunt. Incredibly, these three cubs represent 1% of the entire wild population. If their luck holds, within a year they could be back in the forest. The next generation of Siberian tigers.
Although Charger has not gone far away, he rarely spends time with his family. But his presence in the neighborhood keeps away young males looking for territory who might attack the cubs. The male cubs are already becoming distinguishable from their sisters by their more powerful build. The male on the left has a broader head than his sister on the right. Until now, the cubs have behaved in a largely similar way. Eventually, however, their paths will diverge. The females will each take up a territory close to their mother, but the males will move much farther away to find, and if necessary fight for, territories of their own. For now, however, brothers and sisters stick closely together. They still have a lot to learn. Both sexes have to know how to fight. The females to protect themselves from unwanted advances, the males to take or defend a territory. and siblings make excellent sparring partners. It looks violent, but it's quite disciplined and no blood is ever drawn. Fighting adults use exactly the same moves, but with claws unsheathed, and then the results from bouts like this can be fatal. The tigress is now within striking distance, but the deer knows something is up. This is not the time to lose your nerve. Lessons are being learnt the hard way, but the cubs now know when to leave it to the expert. This time, the tigress leaves her students behind. The deep cover allows her to move faster than usual. She changes tack. Her best weapon is surprise. She could be anywhere. She kills just 2 meters from the camera elephant. It's a sambar. Plenty of food to go round. Tigers often pluck their prey before eating it, a habit they share with leopards. Taking the carcass into cover will conceal it from scavengers. The cubs immediately show how quickly they learn from their mother. He's already making quite a good job of removing the hair.
Oh, I'm tired at the moment and thinking of just the stress and the pressure, and, you know, it makes me even more emotional when I look at them. But if people just don't fall in love with them and want to help us to help them in the wild, then there's something wrong, isn't there? There's something wrong.
As media outlets from across the country arrive, the message about tiger conservation has the potential to reach an international audience. The tiger team want to keep the stress levels low for the cubs, as it could make or break the event. With everyone in place, it's showtime.
So many people here. They're on their way, I can hear them, so it's really exciting. They are coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Australia Zoo's head of tigers, Giles Clark, with our very special guests.
As all eyes focus on Spot and Stripe,
There's a few people, isn't there?
it's vital the cubs stay relaxed.
So what we get you to do, guys, just first of all, is just stay where you are, just while they get used to seeing so many cameras and all of you in here.
The cubs quickly gain confidence and start posing for the cameras.
What's all that noise? Alrighty, well, welcome along, guys. This is Stripe, and the other one over the other side there is Spot. We will be doing cub encounters where guests have the opportunity to come in and meet the cubs. And the good thing for us is not only is that excellent conditioning and training for the tigers, but ultimately that's going to allow us to generate funds and support for tiger conservation.
Giles can tell Spot and Stripe are relaxed and invites the media to get their exclusive.
Okay, is everyone ready?
It's not every day you can get up this close and personal to two very cute tiger cubs, and it's something that the public will have the opportunity to do as well. It will be a paid experience, and all that money will go to help tiger conservation.
The cubs should be on display for the next 2 months. After that, they might be large enough to join the other tigers.
They're doing okay.
It's a little fun game we like to play. 5 or silence.
It went really well in that the cubs reacted really well to all of the cameras. There were so many people in here, but they went really well. They were wandering around, interacting with the media, which is exactly what we wanted.
With the press gone, the public flood in for their first chance to see Spot and Stripe.
The whole day so far has been brilliant, and the fact that we rock up and there's, must be at least 50, 60 people already here 5 minutes before they go on display. So it's been a really good morning. Those images that they were getting of the cubs playing with each other and interacting, it should actually go national, and fingers crossed might even start to get some exposure globally as well, which is great. I don't care how it's out there as long as we get it out there.
The cubs will now spend their days in the new enclosure, but nights will still be spent with Giles and the family.
The cub is beginning to understand his mother's changing demeanour. Every posture has a special meaning. When she has a target in her sights, nothing will break her concentration. She has taken her prey completely by surprise. She brings it down. It's a sambar deer. She partially throttles her victim, but doesn't kill it. She will use this one to give a lesson to her cub. The mother leaves him to get on with it, but he is not quite sure what to do. The throttle hold is one of the most important things he has to learn, and he's making a good start. Giving half-killed prey to a cub like this seems heartbreakingly cruel. But learning to deal with live prey is a vital step on the path to becoming an independent hunter. Spotted deer appear nearby. The cub decides to try his luck. His stalking technique has greatly improved. Now he's acting like a pro. He uses a tree trunk as cover. He places his paws with great care to avoid making even the slightest rustle. Now his success will depend on his timing. Close, but missed again. Nevertheless, this is real progress. The family has moved into the shade, but there's very little space. By the time the cub returns, there's no place for him. His mother makes it clear that he's not welcome. She's starting to lose patience with her grown-up family. The cubs are also far less tolerant of one another. Even their games now have an aggressive edge. It seems they want to play, but are nervous as to what might happen. Again, it's the females who show the most aggression. The squabbling continues as one female tries to settle down for a rest. Eventually, this rivalry will force them apart. Mother is equally hostile. She's beginning the process of making her cubs less dependent on her. So the female cub has to find a spot of her own. She's not alone for long. Her brothers are still ready to show affection. It's a peaceful interlude, but an increasingly rare one.